The classic saying of never judge a book by its cover, by Abraham Lincoln. When it comes to the saying, I can get on board with it, because sometimes you'll find some pretty surprising good books, or some that just straight up, downright, or left diagonally suck. Cover art is something that. Wait, stop the video. What is that? Oh, it's to remind people to like and subscribe. No. Get that lame shit out of here now, please. But I said now! Anyways, cover art is something that can sometimes carry a book and often an entire series. And what I'll specifically be talking about are volume covers of manga. When it comes to people who do manga hauls, there's honestly not too much to talk about, unless they're explicitly talking about one series, like with a review of it. All it basically is just, here's what I bought, I like X series or heard it was good, so I bought it, cover or art looks nice. That's it. Not trying to downplay manga tubers because I watch them, like them, and I'm honestly inspired by some. And occasionally, they'll compliment the cover, rightfully so, because volume covers have a lot to offer when it's shown to a newcomer or a veteran of the series. First of all, it conveys a message of, this is blank series by so-and-so, when you see it and you look at them for the first time. So within a limited amount of time, as you're either passing by or checking out the cover, it's supposed to say a number of things. 1, this is what the story is about to some extent, or at least what's happening right now within the story. 2, these are the characters most important to it right now, if you were to read it. 3, this is the art style. Like it? All of that within less than 60 seconds. Now, not every manga cover follows the same format of just white background, character in forefront, and then title somewhere on the page. Other series will do the same with a splash of color to slightly stand out a tad bit. There's nothing wrong with this design though. I quite like it. It's honestly very simple and there's no real harm to it. I think some of my favorite with this cover structure is that of Prison School, mostly because I like the art style and I enjoy the zoomed in perspective and detail from time to time, and the other being, even though I haven't read it fully, Bleach. Out of almost any series, the white background helps fit the theme and name of the series the most. Pure clean background with just one character and title of the volume to it is very pleasing to look at. And the fact that it has a different character each time from over 70 different volumes, with the exception of a handful of covers just being main characters again, I think that's really cool. It has a rather minimalistic design to it. And what I find interesting about the whole topic is that it also transitions into thumbnails as well, YouTube thumbnails to be exact. I've always been told that the thumbnail is the most important part of the video. You know, the prime reason why anyone would watch the video to begin with. Other thing that rivals that with the same amount of influence at the moment is the title, with it being straightforward, outlandish, or creative, whichever works for the maker. When it comes to my thumbnails, I've been very experimental with them. Say whatever you like about them. I know that they range from good to mediocre. I mean, that's cool, I know. I'm aware that they're kind of all over the place. That's fine by me. It shows how much I've grown and changed throughout the time of this channel. By now, I've stuck with a certain style for the past few years, which is also rather simple. Picture, blur it, add title, and then sometimes a PNG of who or what I'll be talking about. That's it. That's literally it. There's nothing all that spectacular about it. By this point, I'm happy with that result for 2 reasons, and why I won't really be changing it for a while still. First reason, I like the straightforward design. The title is right there, and that's what I'll be talking about in the video. I really can't get more direct than that. Just like the normal volume cover structure. It's kind of the same framework. Second reason, I honestly really just don't know how to make my thumbnails all that flashy. Or, well, I wouldn't say that, I just don't like putting in all that time for it. Masking, finding a reaction shot, zooming in and out, fan art, coloring, making it transparent, etc. Like, dude, I already edit, and that's a freaking headache as it already is. I don't want to have to deal with another one. So, I don't like the time it takes up. Besides, I can definitely tell you on how to get people to click on your videos. Your 2 new best friends, red circle, red arrow. Plaster that shit onto anything that may or may not have to do with the video itself, and you will be fine. I promise you. It's similar to just adding tits or something slightly sexual to covers as well, because everyone in this day and age is horny for whatever reason. But, wouldn't that classify as clickbait? Yes! Anyways, back to manga covers. That's the most normal design because, again, there's not much to it. Is there a way to overdo it though? In other words, are there bad manga covers? Yes, very rare though, and of course it's from a subjective point of view, but for example of something being completely clustered is that of volume 96 for One Piece. It seems entirely shocking for someone like me to be saying that, if anyone knows anything about me and my massive love for the series. I don't really mind this cover, but it would be better if it had displayed the overall message and points that I've mentioned before without it being too crowded. To cut to it, there's just too much happening on this one cover. I get that both Whitebeard and Roger with their huge bodies are there, sure, because they're very vital to Odin's story, with Odin being in the forefront, because, you know, it's his flashback and everything, and with Luffy being in the forefront, I guess to remind people that after 960 chapters, he's still in the story, don't worry. But everyone else, they don't need to be here. They're honestly not needed, and it makes it feel so cramped. There's a Shonen Jump cover where it would be perfect for this volume. This one right here. It's perfect and gets everything about the volume across just fine without it being too clustered. You could either replace Luffy with Whitebeard or keep him because he's the face of the series. That is one thing that I've heard more of the longer the series has gone on, that the pages are completely filled with buildings, reaction shots, characters, attacks, environments, text boxes, etc. And that's fine. It always shows the insane chaos that's always happening with the Straw Hats wherever they go, but it's pretty easy to get lost in the pages, both as a good and bad thing. It's rather rare for One Piece covers not to be filled to the brim. One that doesn't do this, which is my absolute favorite for the series, is Volume 44, the peak of Enies Lobby. It's the climax of Luffy versus Lucci and captures that very well, all the while Robin is in the center of it, for that's who both factions are fighting over. It's really great, I like it. So simple, and yet it gets everything about what this volume and what the story is at that point across extremely well. There are some covers that go the extra mile of adding more color and slightly dynamic shots. Chainsaw Man has some, along with Naruto. And I think some of my favorite covers that are a perfect blend of either having a lot to focus on or one single point is that of My Hero. A good number of covers will only feature one character who's the core of it, or an entire group of characters who are, of course, prominent in this volume. Some of my favorites being that of Volume 9, 11, 12, 17, 19, 21, 24, 25. I know that's quite the list, but that's just for this series alone. I could go on a little bit longer about volume covers, and there's something that I found really cool for the Fire Force covers, but honestly I only realized that through another video I saw months ago also talking about this topic because I wanted to know if anyone else was doing the same thing. And I don't necessarily feel right if I were to even summarize what they said, so if you want to know what's cool about the Fire Force covers if you don't know it already, and more about volume covers in general, go check out that video by this guy. It's pretty cool and good. And that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about volume covers. I guess you could play a fun game, go back to this video, and take a shot every time that I said cover. You will probably die, so I don't recommend it. I probably could quickly touch on the back of covers, but that spot is usually held for the synopsis of the story and what's happening at that moment if you were to read it by then. Sometimes they'll feature some extra art, but that's really it. However, I think the best ones that do this are of My Hero again, because they frequently show off products that the pro heroes sell or are sponsoring within the series. I really like that, it's really cool, and it's a very fun touch to it. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to nerd and geek out about of the most unnecessary, not even unnecessary thing, but the thing that nobody would care to talk about, volume covers. They're pretty, and that's all anyone could ever say about them, but you know, they have that slightly extra depth to them. And enough for me for this video to be long enough the way it is. But yeah, I'm rambling as always. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You know what to do with all the links that I provide and everything of the sort. I have a birthday coming up, which should be tomorrow by the time of this upload. Who knows, or today, I don't know. Thank you for watching, that's greatly appreciated, of course. Have a great day, have a great night, and everything else you know what to do. Bye.